Hi everybody, welcome to Space Engineers. Here's where we are, just right where we left off. Kind of have the thruster section of this ship back here. And I'm trying to just think in terms of ship design right now. This is the forward section. I'm thinking, it seems like so far all of the ships that I've built have a rear section and a middle section, which is the hangar, and the front section, which I would consider kind of more living quarters. So I'm trying to just and I'm doing this video just to try to learn how to build a ship. It just seems like if I'm videoing it, then I'm maybe a little bit less likely to go back and forth more than I already do. So, but I'm just trying to make a cool ship, basically. This is my most recent one, and I think it's pretty much just hopelessly got not enough hydrogen tanks on it. I think there's a possible solution on this one. Oops, it's upside down. And if you've been following this series at all, you know that I just pretty much am just taking a break from this to let the ideas settle a little bit. Going towards the back of the ship, a possible solution would be to replace this cargo container with a large hydrogen tank. It would have all the same connections, so we wouldn't have to modify the ship in any way. And then that, in addition to all the other ones, I think there's 7 small hydrogens on here, which about makes, I think it's 9 that would make up a complete large one. Or no, 15, isn't it? 15 million versus 1 million, I think. Anyway, one possible solution would be that, and then maybe using small cargo containers somewhere on the ship. I think there are a couple of places we could convincingly do that. Have less storage space, but more ability to actually explore. And that's probably going to be the only realistic solution. Just because these ships are hydrogen-hungry beasts. So anyway, back to this idea. Here we have 4 large hydrogen tanks, which should be enough to get where you need to go. Trying to envision the back of this ship. This is actually the older one, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Here's the back of the ship. Considering we could just walk up, kind of old school style. I don't really try to copy any specific ships in these type of designs. Like I'm not one of those, I'm not the kind of nerd that, remembers what spaceships look like from different series or movies. So I'm just kind of making something up. And I'm leaving these areas blank to hopefully create some kind of texture or, interesting shape in the actual hull design. Just gonna make these symmetrical. This will probably eventually be something other than a big flat square, but potential use for a hangar. And also this is helpful to make this whole area potentially pressurized. So, I like the idea of putting everything in, all the sort of engine related or propulsion related stuff in one area. Just seems realistic that way. And I've been getting distracted quite a bit so I think this, let's try to finish a couple of things here. We've got this opening out, and I did some things that weren't using symmetry mode, so let's try to just get back to square one here. I think I want, so we have room for a block here. Could be a ship entrance. We might want to, in fact, move this whole thing forward, but then maybe what we want to do instead is plan to have a navigation section where the gyros and jump drive are. And then batteries and maybe a nuclear reactor. Did we already put one? We have a nuclear reactor. So we just need to find a place to put batteries. And then try to make this area pressurize. So why not make this whole thing flat? I'm not sure I love... Okay, here's... because we need to get out right there. So if we wanted to make this as narrow as possible, I guess that would be using these. That's where we have to come back. Okay, I'm just catching up here on what this madman brain was doing before. I think this is my favorite part of the game, just designing things and building, like designing ships. So here it actually does widen out to thrusters. We do want some protection there, but at this point, we can slope it back down. And we'll need to do something about this, either over here or over there. Probably over here. Not sure if the oxygen tank is airtight. I think it is. Let's see if that pressurizes. I think we need to just put a temporary block right there. Apparently not. Derp-de-derp. Okay. Let's finish. I think the problem is I just am continuously distracted by shiny objects and squirrels. Let's just put a box over that and test for pressure. Yeah, we're pressurizing. Great. So that means we can kind of do anything with these. We don't even need, we do need corridors there though. Could do half walls like this. If we want to make a more, I don't know, industrial look. Could even make those windows. Could make those windows 3 blocks. Does it make sense in the engine room that you'd want to look at a hydrogen tank? I'm going to say it does. It's not the best view, but it's something. Now, do we want to do the same here? Or do we prefer the lighting from the... I'm not sure. Let's just see if we can make a passageway just using steel plates, just for fun. I believe we want that. Feels kind of narrow. Sometimes that cramped vibe is kind of nice in a ship. That would look something like this. I don't like it. We'll stick with corridors there. Not sure if I love the window, but we'll leave it for now. Alright, let's get those corridors back. Just making a decision here. Do we want 2 corridors? For symmetry, don't really need it. Maybe a good time to move that sign. I'm going to put it here. And then maybe do another... We can't do a central passageway because there's a giant... Maybe roll the passages in here. I mean, there isn't really a good way to do it in the center. So I'd probably just block one of them off and make the other one a door. Seems to make the most sense. Doesn't seem like there's much point in having 2. I wouldn't really have any opportunity to get back in there, I don't think. A little cheaper. Alright, moving on. Corner. Light. Corridor. Light. Corridor. We should pressurize now. Oh, but we don't because I don't have it up there yet. And now what? A door. Feels like I'm not sure if I want that many doors. I don't really mind a corridor going both ways. And then we'll be coming into a hangar. Meaning I'll probably have to move that sign again. This could be one medical area, or maybe the medical area. That could be the med bay. I like the idea of it being here. And maybe even just enhance this area a little bit. You know, something like that. Or even I kind of like it. Sure. It's kind of a nice design. Will the mid-bay work right there? I think not if we have curves. Just come out right here. Do some more shaping with that. I mean, that's a great spot for a mid-bay. I prefer this one to the other one. Only issue with it being right there is that it's hard to access it from both sides. I mean, you can, but it'd be nice to have it pushed one farther, which shouldn't be a problem, except for this sign. Need a better place to put it, maybe on an area that I'm not presently building. Put it right there. All right, let's get rid of this other one. Push that forward a little. Pretty sure that all this is just, yeah, that was just planning. Oh no. It's there. I just didn't switch this over. Give it an 8-bit color. It would be nice if this was some kind of selectable preset. Here we go. So we're going to move this sign. We did that. Med bay below O2. We're working on that right now. Hangar, side doors, landing pad. Pressurize engine room. We still got some work to do to make it look pretty, and that may change the that may change our situation, but we'll see. I could put a handful of batteries back here. Oh, these are airlock things. I made them a different color to remind me. So what if we put not a kitchen. Something like an armory. Classic choice. On one side. Which side? I don't know what's better. Doesn't really matter. Hi. Oh, right there. I'll put it on that side. I don't know. One way looks better when you're walking into the ship. One way looks better when you're walking out. I think I usually put them on this side. How about just pick one? I mean, you could have two, but Doesn't make a lot of sense. Or maybe it does, depending on the size of your crew. I don't really want to put a toilet right in the entrance. It's a little weird. So maybe a bookshelf, or maybe just some kind of interior block. Decide later. I'm going to try to do this with less doors, less air vents. I think we'll just... like if we put our conveyor here, does that give us enough room for a med bay? I kind of want to put it off to one side. I'm okay with this. Maybe put some kind of door. Swap the lighting placement. Oops. Oh, symmetry mode. Oh no. Oh no, I didn't. I thought I thought I messed up one of the bricks. Here we go. Run this one more time to here, then maybe we'll put a door right there. Or maybe we won't. I don't know what's better. I'm sort of finding the vision while creating the vision. So what do we decide about a med bay? It's starting to make more sense to just have one passageway. Maybe a little mini thing like we decided before. That might work. That would put a med bay in here. So you could actually kind of scooch through. I don't know. Could scooch through if this was different, but then that kind of messes up the whole design over there. I don't know. Would we still be airtight if we just did something like that? Oops. Oh, symmetry mode. Okay, let's try this again. We're going to put a med bay right there. This is just open. It doesn't make sense to have corridors, but this can't be open. It can be half. So if we design something like that, or even like that. I don't mind it. Not sure what the point is in this. Maybe we just keep it one line. And leave it alone for now. Maybe we'll find a reason to make it work. I think I'm okay with this. Continue out to something like that. No need to decide just yet on those. I was thinking about covering these up, these thrusters, but not sure if we really need to. Or maybe we can do something like an interior wall. Which that is maybe one more option to explore for this. Something like a passage wall. There's one, just one that's a wall. I think that's the way it's meant to go. What if we just did this? Go even all the way to here. Keep falling off the ship. Could do the same on this side. I think. Oh, if we get rid of these. Somewhere. Probably here. I mean, I don't mind that. Put some lighting up above. I don't mind it. Right to a med bay, which I like. And then we'll try to kind of find our symmetry again. Yeah. And put something there or not. Actually, this is probably... That's probably... maybe not, because the roof, I don't know. How hard are we making the roof? It's turning into a hangar. So we will need a door. Probably right here is as good a place as any. Block door. Airlock. Door could be here. You've got maybe even some room for a little control area over here. I think that might work. Let's use this kind. Could be in here. Just make it a little more spacious. I'm gonna try to make the rooms feel a little bit cramped. Seems realistic for a spaceship. But what do I know? I've never been on a spaceship. So we could stuff a bunch of event controllers and timers in there. Still gotta think about batteries back here. Could just put batteries alongside the tanks, but if the tanks blow up, then the batteries blow up. There's definitely room. probably get rid of that window. That seems a bit pointless. 1, 2, 3, so you can put 6 right there. Squeeze past them to go through here. Could put more above. Trying to think about access as well. Just out of curiosity. Also making sure. Okay, so we can't lose any of those. I wonder if we do some kind of stairway for access. But I think that's probably too much. Just put them all overhead. Or maybe that's back here. Okay, keep that. We do battery, space with a ladder, battery. That actually gives us 8. I'm gonna say yes for now. With symmetry. Meaning we gotta get rid of this. And I think that's it. Yeah. So there's 2, there's 4. There's 6 and 8. Does that work? Not really. So it just has to be a regular ladder. Purely for show. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because there's nothing to climb up onto. I don't know. Oh, sometimes it's very sensitive. I think that's the wrong thing. Let's try that again. That's one option. I mean, on the other hand, if you don't have access to your jetpack, what business do you have operating a spaceship? I don't think I mind that. You can reach this one. Guess you could do the ladder shaft here. It's in the way a little bit. I can't seem to climb up. Because it's going right into a wall. So yeah, that's not a useful solution, I don't think. Could have a block here and then a ladder that climbs the block. We're getting out into the hallway quite a bit. I think I may just be okay with this. Can even add one more here if we wanted. I don't know. It's not great. I'd rather have them sort of tucked in somewhere. Like back here. Not the worst idea. Is there anything else going on over here? I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can maybe do something a little bit less absurd here. We just have 3 along the ceiling. I think I like that better. Just seems a little weird. From the perspective of someone who's on board the ship. Let's see, try it here. Center. One over here. I don't know, that just feels better. Have a battery bank. Probably need a few more than that for the ship, but we'll see. I did want to include at least a couple of atmospheric thrusters. Let's pause for a moment and consider that. I'd want them on the same level as these. There's actually room in there. It'd probably be better to put them where those thrusters are, and then push these thrusters out to here. Another option would be to put them here, which is not the worst idea. One, 2, 3 in between. So I think that means that this would just go right up against. I don't know, that might not leave very good options for armoring, but let's see what that looks like. One lower. Yeah, that doesn't look great. Looks kind of tacked on. It would want to be in a different spot. So let's try it with flat MOs. Flat atmospheric thrusters. I really like the look of those better anyway. And it looks like out to here we're airtight, which means I should be able to put it anywhere under this. And our entire ship, how far back is that going to go? Let's say that we want to put them in something like, that's our light, I believe. Yeah. I'm not sure if this works. Yeah, because we're already in. We're already in our room, so the flat mode would have to be back one more. Make sure I'm not cutting my spaceship in half. I don't think so. Next question, does this work? I think it potentially could. got D shape and square. Probably want a couple more. This also does lower the entire profile of the ship, which I think is fine. Not sure where the best spot it would be to add 2 more of those. But this should be fine. We can cover that up. Make a decision about this. Needs to have a floor for sure. I'm kind of a fan of the bookshelf. I think our only options are an armory or an inset bookshelf. And then we'll miss out on coffee unless we put something in there. I mean, coffee in the engine room? Absolutely. I did not mean to do that, though. Oh, symmetry mode. And then some other realistic decorative piece, like, I don't know, a shower. Prefer when there's a shower that can attach into something, since it has that ability to curve through. You could make it a shower and a toilet. Seems to make sense. The engineer's gotta pee and poo also, and get clean. So what if we do a bathroom, shower, or just the lighting at some point? Not right now. That thruster comes up into the floor a little bit. That's okay. Don't mind it. I think this would rather have something a little different. Just go with the shower. Maybe put a staircase up. setup. Something like that. Let's do it that way. Get up here, fix your batteries. Other side too. No, it's not great. Could do a ladder. It seems like a staircase is too much. Probably block that off. Should make this interior. Try to make a few things look a little bit interesting. Maybe the same here. Make the shower face the right way. Maybe not. A little privacy doesn't hurt. And we have the issue of how to get up there, but sometimes it's hard to I don't mind it. Maybe we'll get rid of those windows. It's a weird place for a window. That might be a better place. Nope. That might be at a better place. Nope. Maybe there is no better place for a window. Maybe that's the place. But what I was thinking is, having a ladder here, you can climb up. Do what you need to do. Of course, this is in the way, so it's... I don't know how realistic it is, but whatever. You can put ladders on both sides. And then do something with the interior wall. Something like that. I know it's not super important putting these ladders here, but especially at this stage, but why not? There, I think we're good for the rear entrance of the ship. We'll figure out something about this eventually. Close up. And we're getting close to being pressurizable. Let's just push forward a little on this. Pausing to check real life. Okay. Let's continue. Now I'm thinking pushing it forward one. What makes more sense? I think pushing it forward one might. Is this the airlock, or is... Well, the theme of this build, I think, is going to be making space for things, so if in doubt, let's make it a little bigger. Making our airlock lights on the forward side, just for some kind of consistency. Oh, you know what? We were going to branch up and down here for the sake of... For the sake of the hangars. So what's the best way to do that? We may need to route it. We gotta route it somewhere, probably before the door, actually, if the door is going to be centered. Or put the door on this side. Then we don't have to worry about it. It's probably better. Opportunity for asymmetry. That's going to need to be a pressurizable wall, so here we'll put a T. Continue forward. Actually, hold on. What did I just say? I said I was going to go under and over. So let's do that. I'm just curious, what did I write about this? Not much. But we did that. So it may be useful to do this step first. Running out of room. We're already on a pretty small font, at least for me. But I can read that, so here, let's lower it. If I can read it, you can. That's too small. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to do the hangar side doors, and then we're going to pipe above and below the hangar. That's going to be a pipe down. This is the airlock. So does that mean? That means we might want to come back a little. Airlock here, since that's where the wall is. Does that make sense? You could have a little decorative pipe right here. I think it makes sense. We're going along this way. Just wondering where there's a good place to put a couple more of these atmospheric thrusters. There's a spot. It almost fits with our idea. She could, but well, we've changed our view, haven't we? But it's still up for grabs. We could try putting an atmospheric thruster in here. See how much. Yeah, we're just. That doesn't work because of the. But here can work. There, no. So right there's a spot. Not sure how good that is, but. And we're going to be. It'll be wings out to here anyway. I mean, I guess that's okay. It's kind of a thruster pack. I like that it's in between, so it sort of looks like it's there by design. Not sure if I love it. Something like that. Or not. That's fine for now. All right. Hangar, pipe, door. That's fine, but we do have open space here. It may not work. Keep an eye on it. But this is the pressurizing wall, so I think we're going to be fine. Room for something here. another toilet shower. Cryo chamber is not a bad idea. Remember that we need to pipe this up. This is probably going to be a T. If we put a cryo chamber over here, maybe we even make this a cross. Uh-oh. Did I break my ship? I think it's... Oh yeah, it's this. Okay. And it's kind of cool that we have symmetry here to just go right across. There we got a cryo. Here is our vent. Might be nice to put it on the floor this time. Although it's pretty easy to pipe the way we want. That's our wall, so we're coming down here, piping, floor, and we're coming up here. Piping, ceiling. That might be higher than we need. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is. So does that mean we do this? Then run along here and here? Is that high enough? I think it is. So this is going to help to start narrowing us down a little bit. I think we might be widening out. That's just a pipe. That's going to be something interior. That's going to be a cryo chamber. Armory. No more showers. Bookshelf or... I mean, you're going into a hangar. Of course you need an armory. You need to get your spacesuit. If I can find it. Here it is. Air vent either way. Ceiling or floor, dealer's choice. Here we have a light on the floor. A vent on the ceiling. I think I like it. Let's keep doing it that way. Cryo chamber has no top. Inset one, let's see, does not either. It has it on the bottom and on the back. Pretty sure the lab vat is the one we will use then. There is definitely an upside down and a right side up to this. Trying to find some clue. I see a right side up letter. Let's hope this is it. Bubbles. Bubbles going up means I set it up right. And it's kind of cool how we have all these pipes in here. It gives it a good med bay vibe. let's finish this wall and make sure that we can pressurize it. We have an air vent up top, a light down below. These, are they pressurizable? I guess they must be, since we have another one with inside of an airlock. That's going to go up to here. This is going to be our ceiling. Here I should have symmetry back on. And just for simplicity for now, we'll close that out. Door going into there. And another door, no symmetry. Means we have to close this up. Can I even have it? Oops. There we go.